If you're tired of the standard business and marketing fundamentals, frameworks, and funnels, you need a little mischief. Get ready to turn up the volume on the CEO Mischief Maker podcast, where you access conversations with seasoned business owners who have smashed through mindset barriers, innovated the standard boring business and marketing playbooks, and executed future-paced strategies with bleeding-edge tools and tactics to micro-fail their way into massive success and growth. We are Mindset Impact Strategic Catalysts helping innovative entrepreneurs focus. We are CEO Mischief Makers. Ready to make a little mischief? Hey there, CEO Mischief Makers, MKJ here, and I have one thing to say. Do you want to be fulfilled? One question to ask, if you will. Do you want to be fulfilled? You need the Be Fulfilled Journal. Tony Rebmeyer was on my show. If you haven't listened to it, please go listen to his 3 episodes, because I guarantee you this will make a difference in your life. It's not just a journal. It's not just any kind of journal that has you write down different things that you're going to do in the day. This is really like, forgive the pun, turning a page and charting a fresh course. If you want to achieve goals, you want to boost your creativity and actually feel fulfilled, you need the Be Fulfilled Journal. Call me mkj.com/Tony, and you will go directly to where you can get this journal. I'm telling you, you won't be disappointed. CEO Mischief Makers, here we go again. I have an incredible gentleman next to me that I got to meet for the first time at the Commitment Summit in Costa Rica, baby.
Costa Rica.
Yes, Dennis Wu. And he's gonna talk to me today because this guy has had an incredible journey. So bear with us as we go through these processes. So Dennis, you and I were talking about mindset and impact and strategy. Let's just start with mindset. Give me a mindset shift you had to make in your life in order to publish a book, start a business. Which of the endeavors in your life do you want to talk about that took a significant mindset shift? What was it, and what did you do?
When I first started doing Facebook advertising, I wanted to be the best. And I'd always be jealous about other people that were good at Facebook ads or got another client, because I thought, well, that's a client that I didn't get. Kind of a scarcity mindset mentality thing. And I remember after speaking at some of these conferences, there was a guy who was from Israel, and he was just starting his Facebook ads business, and he spoke on stage after me. And he was kind of like me too. I thought maybe like a couple of years back, like trying to grow his agency, because everyone has this idea, you want to be a 7-figure agency, get all these clients, speak at conferences. And he and I, as real rats, we were on a panel together, and people were asking questions about Facebook ads. And somebody in the audience asked a technical question, and he gave the wrong answer. And I corrected him on stage in front of 800 people. Because I'm like, I'm gonna show everyone how much I know, right? And I realized that I was just a big asshole, because I was kind of crushing his dreams, because that would have been a great opportunity for him to get more clients.
Exactly.
And I felt so bad about that. And I saw him again a bit later, and I saw that he'd grown his business, and he was making a Facebook Live every day, answering people's questions. He was giving out good advice. He was doing a good job in driving sales. Like, he was doing these things that you're supposed to do. And for some reason in my mind, when we met the next time, someone was asking him a question, and then I said, as real rats, he is the king of Facebook ads. And I pointed at him, and then he said, that is, wow, can I quote you on that? Because a lot of people see me as like, oh, Dennis Yu is like the guy for Facebook ads, right? For whatever reason, right? I spent $1 billion on ads, so people think I'm good. Doesn't mean you're good necessarily. And so he took that quote that I called him the king of Facebook ads, and he used that to speak at Social Media Marketing World. He uses that on his website. He uses that all over the place by saying, Dennis Yu says, as real rats is the king of Facebook ads. And so that mindset shift happened kind of by accident, because what do you think happened, Mary, when he goes around telling everybody, well, Dennis Yu says I'm the king of Facebook ads. What does that do for me?
Well, that does two things. Number one, for him, it gives credibility from your experience, and from you, it shows. Well, for me, to me, it shows your abundance.
And let me give you an example of that. 7 years ago, Qasim Aslam was just a young kid starting his agency, and he came to some event, I think it was at Infusionsoft's headquarters, and I was teaching there, and he just peppered me with all these questions, and I was happy to answer, because I thought, this is a bright young kid, this guy's gonna go somewhere. And he was a speaker at the conference, probably one of the best speakers here at this conference that we were at.
Yes, he was.
And he's grown to be the #1 Google Ads agency. #1 based on what? Type in Google Ads agency and he's there, because he's been making videos every single day, hundreds of these videos. And then he became the co-host with Ralph Burns for the Perpetual Traffic podcast, which is the biggest podcast for people that do PPC, right? Which is awesome. And I remember I was representing AdWorld, which is another big conference, and we had an agreement where Digital Marketer was promoting our big conference. And who was the representative for Digital Marketer?
Ryan Dice.
Well, Ryan Dice is, but on the podcast, it was Qasim.
Yes, Qasim.
So I saw Qasim, because we were supposed to do a promo saying everybody come to AdWorld because all the best speakers are there, including Qasim and me and other folks. And Qasim was there, and instead of talking about AdWorld, we spent half of the podcast talking about Qasim's journey, how awesome he is, and then he edified me. So he was edifying me in front of the entire digital market audience. I was edifying him in front of the AdWorld audience, and it was fantastic. And the way I learned how to pronounce his name is Qasim rhymes with awesome. So every time I see him, I say, there's a fist bump, and I say, Qasim is awesome. Just a couple hours ago, we had our weekly mastermind, where all these people, they dial in on Zoom, which is not the same as hanging out people in person, which is why Mary and I are doing this in person. And I was teaching, I was outside, and I brought a few other people, like JC Height, who runs this conference, and Dan Henry was around. Like, all these people kind of were walking by, and I intentionally had them come in and bomb our private Zoom. But Qasim came by a couple hours ago, and we retold parts of that story, and then I had him on live recorded video a couple hours ago saying, this guy Dennis Yu is all these great things. He said all these amazing things about me, but that took a mindset shift, because if this was Dennis of 20 years ago, and I first started running Facebook ads 17 years ago, because 13 years ago, like May 2006, 2007 when it started, I would have tried to fight on who was the best at Facebook ads, who was the best at Google ads. And now the mindset shift is, when I see someone else who's doing something awesome, I want to learn from them. I want to be a student. Otherwise, I'm not open to learning. Otherwise, my mind is like, how do I prove them wrong? Or how do I learn more than them? Or how do I show that I know better?
Yes.
And so that's been the big shift.
Yeah, and it doesn't allow you to be open and hear and listen anything when you do that, right?
Right.
It's very closed, and we only grow by listening and learning from others.
Yeah.
So what did that do? So first off, just that scenario, both scenarios, let's say, what did that do for the trajectory of whether it's personal or business? I mean, I know the personal because you shifted from closed mindset to open, but what did it do for your business?
It's done everything for my business. And I would love to say that I was some kind of genius, where I know that having this abundance mindset creates these different sorts of blessings or whatever.
Yes.
But seriously, because I was shouted out on stage from other people that are well known, I got equity positions in other companies. I started several 7-figure agencies. I have the best-selling book in social media right now on Amazon. Why? Because my co-author is Perry Marshall. Perry Marshall's the #1 seller on Facebook ads for books, #1 book on Google ads, and that's the one everyone learned from if you did Google ads, right?
Yeah.
And because Perry saw me being shouted out by all these other people, he naturally approached me and said, Dennis, we've got to co-author this book on TikTok ads, because the next thing from Google ads to Facebook ads is TikTok ads.
Yes.
And it seems like you're the one, because everyone else says, oh, TikTok ads, you got to talk to Dennis Yu.
So, okay, mischief makers, what we're talking about is relationships. What we're talking about is opening yourself up to conversations and not putting your ego in front of that conversation, but being open to the conversation that can lead to a relationship that you have no idea where that relationship is going to lead. Look at what Dennis just talked about from the beginning, young pup talking about Facebook ads on stage and correcting someone, learning from that and changing it leads to Perry. You had no clue. There's not a direct line
Nope.
from one to the other.
Nope. Although if you had asked me 20 years ago, if you wanted to co-author a best-selling book, who would it be? I'm like, obviously be Perry Marshall because he's the guy, right? But then the young Dennis with the scarcity mindset would have thought, well, what am I going to do to try to reach Perry?
Yes.
Maybe I'll just like call him all the time.
Yes.
Maybe
cold
I'll try
call.
to send him a creepy gift in the mail. Maybe I'll try to like beg him saying, hey, Perry, what if, I'll pay $10,000 if we can write this book together because I want to try to build my name. But instead, because of what Mary and I are talking about, Perry reached out to me. I didn't reach out to Perry. How does that change the dynamic?
Completely. So there you go. Mindset shift. That one thing then compounded to lead to #1 book and relationships and partnerships that you probably didn't even think were possible when you first
And I
started.
didn't even deserve it. And the other thing too about this book, I think it sold 20,000 copies, so not a lot so far because it's still early. But this, like people, they've not even read the book, and they say it's amazing. Why? Because it's got Perry's name on it and it's got my name on it. And we've done so many Zooms, so many webinars. Because we have this momentum, we've been able to interview all these top people on TikTok ads. So anyone who's anything on TikTok ads, Perry and I have been on a Zoom with them saying, okay, go ahead and spill your secrets, log into your account, show your targeting, show what your best hooks are, show how you're using Spark ads, what's the secret lead ads, like how are you able to get the high conversion rates, what kinds of form fields do you have? Like, we're literally getting all the best people in TikTok ads to spill their secret. And literally, if you're following what we're talking about here, you could write the best-selling book, or you could be the perceived expert in an area, but just by not even actually knowing the thing, but because we are the perceived expert, we've rounded up all the very best, the most knowledgeable people and said, go ahead and tell us because we're going to put you in the book, and everyone wants to be in the book, right?
Yes, definitely. So what is the next mindset shift you're working on right now?
There's a shift from being an employee, which is how do I get the best job to make the most money and have the most skills, kind of the worker mentality,
Right.
to the let's edify other people because I have the abundance mindset, growing an agency. So I've grown several agencies and had some huge clients. And now that next mindset shift is how do I pay it forward for other people? So I've been able to demonstrate that I've grown several 7-figure agencies. How do we help all these other agencies grow? So we're here at the Commitment Summit, helping a lot of digital agencies thrive. Last week I was in Miami and I spoke at Josh Nelson's 7-figure agency. I interviewed Joel Kaplan a couple months ago, you name it, all these other people in the agency space. What's the biggest thing that is the bottleneck for successful agencies?
I would say time.
Time, because they can't execute.
Yeah.
New agencies, their issue is lead, they think their issue is lead gen, but really it's because they don't have retention, it's an LTV thing and whatnot.
Yes.
So that next shift is, all right, instead of me being able to grow my agency because I become well known, because I have a book, because I speak on stage, because I know Ryan Dice or anything like that,
Yeah.
it's how do we enable that for all these other people to be blessed in the same kind of way? I was in Pakistan a few months ago, and I was invited by Rihan Alawala, who is probably the most connected man in Pakistan, maybe the best known person in that entire country, which has the same population as the United States. Incredible. People don't even know about it. Yeah.
Has the same population as the U.S.
Mm-hmm. But
Wow.
70% of their audience is 27 and younger. It's a bunch of young adults.
Yeah.
So what are they doing? What are these young adults doing?
They're on social media.
They're on social media. And so we're teaching them how to do social media. I met the president, not of the United States. And I met other government officials. I spoke at Future Fest, which is a conference with 30,000 people. And I met all these other leaders of industry because they want to create 1 million jobs. So Rihan Alawala is all about creating 1 million jobs. And I believe in the same thing. We're a quarter of the way there, which is great. We've made some progress. And when I was in Miami last week, in front of a whole group of agencies. We had 108 seven-figure agencies in the room among like 250 in the room. So pretty good set of agencies. And I brought Rihan on via Zoom so that he could speak to our whole group in Miami. And he gave the whole talk about how he and I went together, we met these other government officials, we spoke at these stadiums and whatnot, because we want to create jobs for these people in Pakistan, these young adults that kind of know social media. You know, young adults sort of have this thing with social media. Guess how much money you have to make per month in Pakistan to make life-changing income?
1,000?
$500.
Wow.
Now, $500 a month. What could you do in the United States with that? You can't even buy one night in this hotel.
No. Oh no. No. Definitely. I mean, you can't. Yeah. Not even an apartment.
So now
anywhere.
we've been training up tens of thousands of these young adults, and just in the last week, we've created a dozen jobs. Every week, we're creating another couple dozen jobs, where these agency owners come and post in our group saying, I need an account manager, I need a video editor, I need whatever it is, and we're enabling all these agencies to grow. We're not even making any money off of that because we're putting all our training out there. So I've made several $1 million selling courses on Facebook ads and SEO and building websites, and landing pages, and all the typical kinds of things you make money online, landing, all the stuff like how do you sell, right? And in Pakistan, I made all that training free. So all these young adults can come through this, they can get certified, and now we have Americans in the US, these agency owners, that are hiring from that group in Pakistan, and I'm gonna go back there in 4 weeks. I'm gonna meet a whole bunch of people, I'm gonna speak at these different universities, I'm gonna see, it's like watching your seeds grow and plant and become fruit, and it's just amazing to see that, right? Imagine like how that feels, that you can do that. And even today, there are people here at this conference that heard about some of the Facebook groups that we have that have a lot of people in them, someone said like, I need an account manager who can do onboarding of our new clients. Do you think that you could help with that? And I said, yes, if you have an SOP on exactly how that's done, post it in the group. Have people who are in the group, you don't just have them apply, because then you have hundreds of resumes and then you can't figure out, it's just, But say, look, here's our training and here's how you qualify. Here's a quiz that I have, or make a 1-minute video demonstrating you have knowledge and you have the background, and we'll hire you at $500 a month. And it's just so awesome because I get these stories. Somebody came up to me yesterday saying, Dennis, I went through your training program and I hired 6 VAs. And I feel guilty because I know we've never met before, but I've been stalking you for years and taking all your training. I've never paid you a dime, so I feel kind of bad, but I've grown my agency based on what you've been teaching about how do you hire VAs from the Philippines and Pakistan and these other places. And I said, bro, congratulations. That is so awesome. Yeah. So that's been my next mindset shift, is not just like, how do I put money in my pocket? So you can grow your own business because you honor other people, right? Like we talked in that first mindset shift. But that second one is, how do I do it for other people? And now all these other agencies are growing, so I don't even have to run an agency anymore, because I get a little piece of these other agencies that want me to be involved, which is awesome. So some of these other speakers on stage, you might have heard them say good things about me. Part of it is that I have a little piece of their success, just like a little corner of the dollar. Just give me 1%, right? And I'll do all these other things, and to them, it's an amazing deal, right? Cossum has paid me money. David Carroll's paid me money. A lot of these other people have paid, not because I'm trying to get money, but because they want to be part of this ecosystem, which creates more jobs, and it's great for them and great for us.
Yeah, it's great for everyone. And that, I have to be honest with you, Mischief Makers, that's what really the unifying theme that I've heard at this conference, the difference. And my challenge to you, I know everyone probably listening to our voices is thinking, but I gotta make my monthly bills, and I gotta find the next client, and I gotta make sure I don't lose that client, and you're in that fight, you're in that climb. I get it. Stay in the climb, keep going, don't ever give up, be resilient. Next thing you need to do though is think future. What am I really working for? And when you get to that level, when you put that in your front, because people like Dennis and I know Muhammad Sadiq and all these people this is what their next level is. And unless you look up sometimes and see where you've come from and really look to where you want to go, you'll stay in that climb and you won't really think about, really, what's my purpose? What am I doing this for?
Yeah.
And that's just what Dennis told us about.
But let me give you something, mischief maker. It's hard for me to say that.
I know.
English was not my first language.
I know.
Let me give you something super practical that you can do right now in the next 10 minutes that's going to grow your business. It's based on what we just talked about, these principles. So remember how I said I gave Azrael Rat some credit because I was willing to say this other guy is the king of Facebook ads. Who are other people in your life? They don't have to be agency owners, they don't have to be competitors, but other people that have made an impact on you or that you admire or that you learn from. Do you think you could make a 1-minute video, like make a list of these 10 people, make a 1-minute video about each of them? Right now, it doesn't have to be perfect, doesn't have to be with great lighting. We're literally just here, they're breaking down the conference and we're making this video on my iPhone.
Yes.
But literally just make a 1-minute video where you just name, and you just talk 1 minute about each of those, post it on Facebook or LinkedIn saying, I am so grateful for Mary because she taught me this one thing, right? And it doesn't have to be some life-changing thing.
Yes.
What happens when you do that? Well, what happens when you do that?
When that person hears what it is you've said, we all want to hear good things about ourselves. So I'm only going to want to reciprocate in some way.
And everybody has an ego. So that person, if you do it in an honest way, right? Say something that's meaningful, they're going to share it, they're going to comment. Their audience then sees that. So it's the reciprocation that Mary talks about.
Yeah.
Now, if in your business you are clear about the exact product and service that you have, then you're also saying, I don't do all these other things because I just do digital marketing for roofers or whatever it is.
Right.
Well, when you put those 10 thank yous and gratitudes out there, and all these other people know based on your LinkedIn profile or your email or whatever, or your website where it's clear on exactly who you serve. And by the way, you don't serve small business, you don't serve everybody, you serve that one niche.
Yes.
Let's keep, this gratitude strategy only works if you have a niche, okay?
Yes.
Then all these other people will see like, oh, well, Kasim just does Google ads. And so Kasim makes gratitude videos about me for Facebook ads or about personal branding, or about TikTok, because Kasim doesn't do TikTok, right? So then all these other people they see that Kasim's a Google ads guy and it automatically creates a referral network. This is not some theoretical pay it forward, or if you believe in the universe and karma and the secret. No. This you literally do this thing. I'm telling you, you will get referrals because where your referrals and next customers come from is a second degree connection, which is a friend of a friend, which is like an existing client or customer of yours. Their friend notices, and then you might not even know that it came from that particular person because you said thank you. But I promise you, if you make these gratitude videos, say once a week, 10 minutes. Do you have 10 minutes once a week? This will change your life. Do this for 5 or 6 weeks, and then come back to this video. Comment below or message me or let us know what happens to your business when you make these gratitude videos. You will not believe it.
And think of the mindset shift that it's going to take for you to do that and actually implement that in a meaningful way, in a giving way. Wow. Okay, that was amazing. We talked a little bit about impact already because of the people that you really are trying to help, which is such a noble cause. It's so, I know I've worked with people in other countries, I've taught and had masterminds with, and the difference in life with that, with just a small effort on our part, thinking it's small, but it's huge for them, is really immeasurable.
Okay, hold on. If your mindset was shifted, you were inspired to innovate, and you were spurred into action, don't just move on with your day. Focus, my friend, and take a few minutes to visit CEOmischiefmaker.com to learn more about the value that was shared with you today. Please act now and create some CEO mischief of your own.